Good morning, everybody. Today is January 11th, Monday, and this is going to be the very first pre-market prep video. I decided I want to go ahead and start doing these every morning to show what my outlook on the market is, what stocks I'm looking for in the morning, and how I'm planning on trading them. Anyway, so we're going to get started right here. We got the economic calendar, so we got the market manufacturing PMI, construction spending, a few Fed speakers talking, like 5 things on. Nope, I was right the first time. 4 things on for today. Alright, so I always like to see what's going on. One thing we're going to have to watch is on Wednesday, see what happens there. ADP report would be important as well. Alright, we'll see what the market has been doing overnight. And so overnight, you see we opened up and we've been just bleeding down all day. We're finding a base down here around 37.90. Slowly going up. You see it's trending higher, but it looks like we may start to break that. But that was an ugly trend line. Nonetheless, it's a small pullback on the grand scheme of things. It's not overly big. Look over here, we're having a little pop in the VIX, and then all this stuff doesn't work until the market opens. But this right here tells me you should be hedged. If you haven't yet, go to my Instagram, Active Profits, and I have a little post in there about hedging, and it talks about what the skew is and how you could hedge and how I personally hedge whenever things potentially could get a little squirrely. Anyways, we're pretty much flat. We're down 0.60% on the market, and which is a nice little pullback, but on the grand scheme of things, it's really not that bad. The market's still bullish. Everything's still looking good. The Dow's down. The NASDAQ is down. Everything's going down. Everything's moving the same. But if you look at it from a daily chart perspective, I mean, we're barely, like, there's nothing to worry about. So always remember the context of the bigger picture. That is not a whole lot to be concerned about right there. And also something to think about is we're starting to get early in signals from the squeeze. On the early in and out signals, those dots meaning that the squeeze potentially may fire soon, but also the blue candle also means that momentum is slowing down. So we will just have to stand by and see what happens there. All right, so what am I looking for the day? So my green 10x bar setups. Really liking Starbucks. Green 10x across the larger time frames. What I would like is a pullback to the 8 or 21 EMA to ride it higher. I don't know. Let's see if there's a squeeze with that as well. There is a squeeze with it as well. So with green 10x bars and a squeeze, you could get pretty bullish in your option strategy for a better reward if you do so wish. And Comcast, Telecom's starting to get better. Got the green buy arrow. And I do believe this is also in a squeeze. It's kind of forming a flag formation. But if we can, what I personally would like to do is buy it near the 21 EMA down here potentially be positioned for this break higher right here, right higher, and then the weekly over here looks great as well. So I got my Comcast telecoms looking good, but also might want to be cautious with the whole banning of Trump on Twitter is hurting Twitter today, because Twitter was on my watch list. I'll go over that really fast. It does have a squeeze. Short-lived squeeze. It is dipping down, and I know a lot of people pledge by the 21 EMA, the 34 EMA, but there's more to it than that. So this blue line is a 50 SMA, and you can see it has been, do that, sorry. Every time it touches it or gets near it, it bounces off of it. That's all I finally got above. Anyways, it's opening up near the 50 SMA. What I am planning on doing is I'll eyeball it, because I don't think Trump getting banned from Twitter is going to be the end of Twitter. So you can see this red line right here. There is going to be support there, and also the 50 SMA, which is this 4840 level. So what I'm doing, I'll have to pull this chart. I want to see it reclaim the 50 SMA in the support level, and then I'll position myself for a move higher for a retracement back up to probably the reversion to the mean for about 52.50, if not more. But what I am going to do is also be very patient and wait for a buy arrow off that support. Something I've noticed is every time I wait for a buy arrow on a 15 or 30-minute chart off of support, then it has been pretty consistent in the direction it's going. So I'll wait for that, especially with how uncertain it could be. Who knows? Maybe Trump was the only person keeping Twitter alive. So I went over our Twitter, Comcast, now TTD. This is a 10x setup, obviously. We got this buy arrow, which is a break of the 21 bar high. And just a quick review of that. This purple line is a 21 bar low. And so at this time it was 738.33, because that candle pierced it. That's the low bar. Now the arrow is high of low bar, so it broke the high of that bar. So it's telling me, boom, that's a buy entry. So enter that position, or you can. And over here on the 30-minute chart, I want to see it consolidate to the 21 EMA in this 30-minute chart, and then I'll enter long. And also, if you're ready aim fire trader, there is a ready and then fire, but I don't really use that as much as maybe I should. Anyway, so TDD cost is looking really good, especially with retail going up. Here, show it. As you can see, this trend line support, the 50 SMA, has been holding well, is holding it higher. It's in a squeeze with our lean signals, and momentum is just, oops, let me fix that. And momentum is now shifting to the higher. So Costco is definitely on my quick to watch to enter today. I know it's below the 34 and the 21, but if you could even catch it lower right here, and then you could have me personally, I'm going to enter around this time, and then my stop at that low at that trend line. Costco cake is another one I'm liking. So Cheesecake Factory, with the vaccinations, I imagine things opening up back up. It's obviously been consolidating, stuck below around 37.70. Got a buy arrow obviously right there where you see it on the daily, and I imagine it is in a squeeze due to the consolidation it's in right there. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, high compression squeeze even. So You got these gold dots right there, which is a high compression squeeze, stacked EMAs. It's starting to turn. I wouldn't be surprised today if we get the first blue bar right there. We reclaimed the 89 EMA. It's been consolidating. And it's been consolidating underneath the level it was before its initial drop. So you could easily say you enter at the break of 38 and with the target of 42.50. The reason I say that is because I drew those trend lines already. I was already mapping it out. But come over here. This is where I'm getting the info. All right. So cake. T-Mobile. Telecom's looking good. Obviously got a breakout right there. It's in a squeeze. Early end signals. Stacked EMAs. Bullish momentum. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner than that. So T-Mobile's definitely on watch. NVIDIA, it just got news that maybe the spark it needs to break out of this ginormous flag it's in. So, yeah, it just had news that it's teaming up with Neo for their products or whatever. And right now we are gapping up above it. If we could hold it, it's been in a long squeeze. I could probably grab it out of the money debit spread for a good little lotto on this thing. But it should run pretty good, especially at how long that flag is. But NVIDIA is looking good. Well, okay. It's a squeeze. No momentum's at the bottom. Looking for it to slingshot up, high compression squeeze. Looking for that to fire. Stacked DMA sitting right on top of it. Hopefully Honeywell gets going. And Starbucks. Or I know everyone already talked about this one, the green 10x bars and whatnot, and it is also in a squeeze. I would like a little dip to 8 EMA or 20 EMA for a squeeze entry. Then Lulu is looking good for a squeeze. On the weekly time frame, it obviously looks very good over here. Over here looks very good, stacked EMAs and everything. Stacked EMAs right here. Got a squeeze, looking for it to slingshot higher. Enter near the 21 EMA. It's as simple as that. It's not very complicated. I know, so therefore it could definitely sound like I'm just rambling. Another one added to my list that you may not, or that I didn't have on the list yesterday whenever I did the weekly prep and review, is Zendesk. I ran across this late. But Zen squeeze, momentum's going higher, breaking out. To me, it feels like chasing at this moment, but if you're a breakout trader, you may potentially still get something out of it. And just thought I'd point that out. And something else to note about Lulu, last I checked, it was dipping down. So Lulu's dipping down near the 21 EMA right now. If it opens down there after a 15-minute shakeout, it may be a good time for entry. But anyways, that's all I have for you. If you have any questions, please write them in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, share with your friends and family. Subscribe if you're new here. Thank you very much and trade safe.